Tired of just getting splinters from your breaches instead of the juicy divine drops? Well, you're in luck. Because today I'm gonna show you how to turn your maps from these into this. Now to start off this video, I'm just gonna assume that you already know the basics of mapping and you know how to do a map, you know what a map is, and you know what a breach is as well. And if you don't, please watch this video guide instead and come back to this video later. So to begin this strategy, how we're gonna get more loot is first we gotta find an area on our atlas with a bunch of lost towers close together. For example here, I have 5 lost towers, fairly close to each other, and this is gonna be the area where I set up my breach atlas. Now the next most important thing in this strategy is the mods that you roll on your breach tablets. Now as you can see here, I have some tablets already rolled, and most importantly what we're looking for is the prefix on the tablets. We really want this increased quantity of items found in maps rolled onto our tablets. What this mod basically does is that it increases the amount of items monsters drop from your maps. This includes breach splinters, currency drops, item drops, everything. In fact, this mod on your tablet is so important that if my tablet does not have these mods, what I'll do instead is I'll just put them in the Reforging Bench. And if you put in 3 of a certain tablet, you get back 1 of the same kind. And this one may have a chance to have quantity on it. Well, it doesn't, but you can keep reforging and you get so many of these tablets by doing breaches that eventually you're just gonna get 1 with quantity instead. Now moving on back to the atlas. If you check out my towers over here, you'll notice that I still haven't put in my tablets. And the reason I do this is because while I'm pathing to all the towers, I'm actually purposely taking the shortest path and making sure I use as much of the bad nodes, bad layouts, maps that I don't enjoy doing breaches on. And I'm stepping on these nodes to make sure that the breach that comes from the tablet does not land on them. And the reason I did not activate my towers any earlier with the tablets is because I also do not want to waste a node that happened to get a breach on it while I'm pathing. Another really clever thing you can actually do is you can actually purposely waste the map by entering and exiting it, or just entering and completing it. For example, you really don't want to have a breach on a layout such as Maya, for example. Personally, I don't do this, but depending on how much you dislike certain layouts, this might be worth it for you. Right now, if you check out the background, you can see that I'm just placing the best tablets as close to the center as possible to make sure that most maps are affected by it. And the way this works is that even the maps which do not get breaches get the quantity effects from the tablet. So I'm putting those with the most quantity or the most breaches in the center, and I'm putting those that are slightly worse at the edges. And if you have some lost towers kinda close by but not really to your breach area, what you can do is you can put precursor tablets that irradiate maps. You can use the ones with quantity on them to irradiate the area and give it quantity without wasting a breach tablet. Now another reason why it's so important to stack so many lost towers together is because of this mod on your atlas. This mod increases the effect of your Waystones for each tower that affects the map. And this is really important because we're running maps like these over here. We're running maps with increased quantity, increased rarity, and preferably increased rare monsters as well. Not only this, but we're also anointing these maps to make them delirious so there's more monsters and more loot. Delirium gives us more loot as well. This is the most important thing, but make sure that your breach atlas is set up correctly. If you got a slow build, I recommend you go for sustained siege instead. But if you're fast like me, you can take Interdimensional Assault instead. This gives you more monsters in the Breach, and that's exactly what we want. Next, I really like this one, Chance to Contain an Additional Breach. This basically just gives you way more loot, especially since you're putting in so much to get good tablets and get good Waystones as well. I don't really recommend this one, as catalysts are pretty worthless in this current state of the game, and instead what we're going for in Breaches is we're just going for monster kills to get more loot. I don't really mind this, as the Breach Splinters is kind of a deterministic way to make currency from this strategy. And of course, I took that note because monster density is what I'm going for. Monster density gives us more rares that pop out. More rares equals more loot. Now, I haven't tested this myself, but having quantity wrote onto your map also increases the amount of splinters that drop from hands. So another quick tip I have for you guys who are struggling to stay alive in Breaches. You can look at my inventory here. I have an Omen in here. And what this Omen does is that when I reach low life, it actually recovers all my health, mana, and energy shield. So essentially, this allows you to cheat death once per map. If you want one of these for yourself, you can quickly come over here and just buy one from Alva. You can see they're pretty cheap, 6 Exalted each. And considering how much you're putting into your maps, you kind of really want this to not lose the content and not lose experience as well. Some more really not well known tips I have to share with you about the Endless system is that you check out your passive tree over here. There's this node called Local Knowledge, and what this does is basically certain maps have certain biomes assigned to them. And based on the biome they have certain bonuses to drops as well. Most importantly, the ones we really care about is swamp and water biome maps. Second most important for me would be grass biome maps. These are the ones that drop socket currency, and socket currency are things such as jeweler orbs, gem color prisms, but most importantly the perfect jeweler orbs. They're about 3 divine each, 2.8. But what you may not know is that certain maps actually have 2 biomes attached to them. And I'm talking maps such as Decay. Decay is a grass and swamp map. Augury. Augury is a grass and swamp map as well. Another one is Seepage. Seepage is a grass and swamp map as well, and these make them really valuable. You really want to save these nodes. Do not use them to path. I know how much you guys hate Augury, but sometimes the breach goes into the center and that shit is really good. Now you guys are probably wondering, how am I getting this information? How do I know which maps have 2 biomes and which maps don't? And actually all of this is on a really good website. This website is called Puri2DB. I'm gonna leave a link to it in the description. And all you gotta do is see the information is you gotta go over to this website. And you wanna click on this link over here that says Waystones. And click over here on this thing that says Endgame Maps. And if you scroll around, you can see that it's got information on which maps belong to which biomes. As you can see, there are multiple maps with, maybe 3 biomes, and these make it really good when you combine it with the local knowledge node. So, save your good nodes, use up the bad ones. Let me know how this helps you. Now, all that said, if you guys do this strategy right, you're gonna go get maps that look like these, literally double loot if not more, and combined with some Waystones, you can get up to 300% quantity on some of them. And that's it. Go out, get yourself some divine drops, go get yourself some juicy loot, maybe even a mirror. Let me know if this video helped you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching to this point. Leave a comment if it helped, and subscribe.